la casa. A Spanish professor separated his students, male and female, 2 groups. And he asked them, what is a computer? Is a computer el computador? Or will it be la computadora? Well, a short time after, the woman come up and say, definitely, el computador. When you commit to one, you realize that had you waited a little longer, you could have gotten a better model. Number 2. Number 2, they're so full of data, but they're so clueless. Number 3, they're there to solve your problem, but half the time, they are the problem. Number 4, the only way to get them to do anything is to turn them on. Well, the men came and said, no way. Computer should be la computadora. Because once you commit to one, you're spending half your salary on accessories. Number 2, the smallest mistake you make is stored in long-term memory for future retrieval. Number 3, they make you take the trash out. Number 4, their internal logic is only understandable to their creator. And number 5, the language they use to communicate with other computers is impossible for everyone to understand. So when it comes to gender language, I'd like to propose that the English language has 2 types of English. There's man talk and there's woman talk. The man would be very wise to understand at least the basics of woman talk. For example, the words sound very similar, but the meaning is also different. When a man says, I am hungry, every man knows what he means. I am hungry. But it's not so easy when it comes to women, and especially his wife. His wife will say, what do you mean you're hungry? If you're so hungry, why did you eat so little at supper time? I know why. Because you hate my cooking. Wham! I'm hungry means I hate your cooking. Does that make any sense? But let's talk about woman talk. Who can understand what a woman means? When a woman says yes, many times she means no. When she says no, most of the time she means no. And when she says maybe, you know what she means. She means no. But further on woman talk, when a woman says, fine, the foolish man will think that everything's okay. Let me tell you, when she says fine, that's a word she uses to end an argument that she feels she has won. You better just keep quiet. When a woman says, go ahead, the foolish man will say, oh, that's permission for me. That's foolish. When she says go ahead, it's a dare. If she says go ahead, don't even think of it. If a woman says, I'll be ready in 5 minutes, mark your clock, mark about 30 minutes. But I have to be fair here. When a man says, oh honey, I'm going to take out the trash in 5 minutes, as soon as the game is over, mark the clock, it'll be at least half an hour, so that kind of evens things out there. But you're lying in bed at night, about to doze off, and the woman says, was that the baby? Men, that is not a yes-no question. What she's saying is, why didn't you get up and rock the baby to sleep because I'm exhausted? But the wise man will learn the basics of woman talk. Imagine a man and a woman, they're late for some type of outing. And the woman is dressed up, and she says, honey, how do I look? And the man says, you look great, let's go. In woman talk, what is she hearing? She hears, I look terrible. What would the wise man say? So she'd be able to understand in woman talk, and that they could get out of the house. He would say, honey, you look amazing. Let's get out of here so I can show you off. Works a whole lot better. But along that same line, if the man says, you look great, when he wasn't asked how she looks, what does she hear? I want some action later on. So if you write down in your little woman talk dictionary, you look great might mean you look terrible, Or it might mean I want some action later on. It depends on the context. In conclusion, I need to be fair. There are some inconsistencies in man talk, but that's a future humorous speech, and it might be a little rated R. But I'm convinced that computers should be called La Computadora, because the language that they use to speak to each other is impossible for us all to understand. It may be impossible, but the man who tries to learn the basics of woman talk will find it to his benefit. The more he learns, the more benefits he'll reap. Thank you very much. Madam Chief Chair.